Hello, everyone. Let's just go through some correspondence transactions. As you can see here, I'm just gonna make sure that I focus on the books of first entry. Remember, these are just the journals. So, but for now, I'm gonna focus on the ledger accounts. Okay. Now, if you can check here, we do have the transactions which we need to record. We just have to analyze for now. For now, as part one, we are going to analyze the transactions. As you can see here, the first one, it says a proof of electronic funds transfer payment amounting to 17,914 rands 5 cents was received from our instructed attorney. So we received this money as cash, EFT, from our instructed attorney. So we instructed Sylvester's attorneys to go and collect the funds on behalf of our client. Our client is Andres, and this amount must be collected from a debtor by the name of Malope. So this is very much important. At the moment, we need to analyze the fact that we are receiving cash. So it is important for us to know that we are receiving cash. So we need to note that we are receiving cash. And when we receive cash, something must come to our mind. So this cash is the trust. So cash, so it will affect what you call the trust bank account, or you can just say trust cash book. So trust cash book is going to be affected. And obviously we are receiving this trust cash book. So obviously this trust money and this trust money will be debited. Can you see now? Will be debited because obviously we are receiving cash which belongs to our clients. Remember, if you are dealing with the correspondent, at the moment, the instructing attorney will take the correspondent as their client. In other words, the business for now is between the instructing attorney and the correspondent. Can you see now? The instructed attorney. So at the moment, we will know for sure that we are receiving this cash, and this cash obviously must be put in the trust accounts, of which in this case we're going to use the trust bank, and sometimes you call it a trust cash book. Okay, so this is important to note. We're just analyzing for now. Number two, on the provided account statement, remember on the account statement, our correspondent documented a payment received. In other words, this amount was received from what? From a debtor by the name of Malope. So in other words, this amount was collected. So it's different from this one. So this is what we got as real cash. But all in all, the correspondent managed to collect 22,575. This means that this amount was collected on behalf of the client. So by the time when we deal with the ledger accounts, we need to make sure that we give this to the trust of our client. At the same time, obviously, the amount was collected and it will be transferred to what? To the client's account. So again, at the moment, we'll do those entries thereafter. So, but for now, we just know that the amount collected, not the amount paid as cash to us. We collect the correspondent collected 22,575. Additionally, our correspondent recorded a total of what? Of 5,675. And then this together with VAT. So, and what? And the disbursement. So, in other words, all these figures added together will give you 5,675. But firstly, we need to know that this 5,675 obviously will be deducted from the amount that we collected, because it is the responsibility of our client to pay these costs. So in other words, by the time when we record, you will realize that this 22,575 will be reduced by 5,675 because the correspondent need to deduct this cost, because Andres, who is our client, is responsible for what? For paying this. So at the end of the day, we know that we're gonna affect Andres accounts and we are gonna affect the correspondent, but we still have to show this thereafter. But the breakdown, as you can see, we've got the fees, and obviously the fees, as you know, the fees will be an income to us. Fees are incomes to us. And obviously our incomes for the business will increase on the credit side. So we're just preparing for the record. Can you see now? So the fee account will be opened, and thereafter even the SARS account will be affected. Can you see now? We have got SARS will be the output VAT. Now this is the VAT on this 2646. So again, this VAT will be recorded, and this will be a liability. This will be a SARS, of which we owe. Is going to be a liability, and obviously the liability increase on the credit side. So we must also account to SARS at the end of the day. Can you see now? And again, as we said, these disbursements will be part of this total. So at the end of the day, we need to make sure we account for them. Okay. So it is very much important to make sure that we understand what we are recording. Number 4, I just made a mistake here. This must be number 4. Let me just write it as number 4. Number 3. This is number 4. Okay. Our instructed correspondent granted us an allowance. As you can see, there's an allowance of how much? There's an allowance which we're granted of 882, and that allowance has got a VAT of how much? Of 32. So in other words, at the end of the day, this is also a fee. Remember, allowance is when we normally talk about, remember that 1/3 allowance. I think you know about your theory. So 1/3 allowance, remember, this is the limit that you can claim from, let's say you can get from the correspondent. So, but the agreement is between the correspondent, the instructing attorney, and the correspondent. So it can be less, but this is the maximum that we can, negotiate between us. So again, this allowance is going to be a fee, and obviously this fee is going to be treated like this fee. So this fee again is going to be part of the incomes. Can you see now? It's going to be part of the incomes, and obviously the incomes will increase on the credit side. Can you see now? So again, we must remember that we still have to record this in the income, and the VAT again, like we said on top, will affect SARS. So at the same time, this will affect our SARS account, and obviously our SARS account as a liability will be affected, or we will record on the credit side to show that we are owing SARS. Can you see now? I'm just trying to analyze at the end of the day. Okay. So this is very much important to analyze. So upon transferring the amount outstanding due to us, we made a payment to our client. In other words, thereafter, we're going to do some transfers, and thereafter, the amount remaining is going to be made to, the payment will be made to Andres, because obviously we are representing Andres as our client. So we need to make sure that we do that. We must also make sure that we prepare a statement of account. So we must account to the Andres. So thereafter, we must compile a statement. So obviously, I think maybe I should have put this up there, but it's okay, because I realized that let me just add something in, so that this thing can be very interesting. So again, these are just the analysis. So thereafter, I'm going to show you how to record in the books of accounts. But for now, this is enough for now. And then this is part 1, and part 2 will follow, whereby I show you how to record in the books of accounts. I hope it makes sense. Thank you very much.